3, 2, 1.
Woo! Welcome to another episode of Let's Get Drunk with B-Rad. Before we get started, if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink. We want everyone home safe. And something near and dear to my heart, 22 veterans died due to PTSD suicide. So, if you know a veteran suffering from PTSD, know someone suffering from anxiety, depression, reach out to them, send them, Facebook them, email them, call them, just acknowledging that you're thinking of them might save their life. And we don't need to lose any lives to this horrible disease that's been plaguing the United States and the veteran community especially, along with first responders, policemen, heck, school teachers, their forth. It's just not limited to veterans. It does not discriminate. All right, I got a very special beer for you. I've got, gosh dang cameraman. I have got, I've got a beer that I believe I've done. I've done a what do you call it? I believe I've did a review on his beer prior, but I can't tell you. Sadly enough, I can't tell you which one it is. All right. So here, let's go better over here. All right. I've got for you Nightmare. Winclass of Earmous. Ghost Ale with blackberries, baccarat, and black sea salts. Okay, now, if you can see, there's a guy with his guts being ripped out, and that's probably the executioner, and looks like you got some people, and then here's the executioner back right here, and that's a guy getting his intestines pulled out. Now, this is what separates me from the other beer reviews. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone's beer review, because there's not. Everyone's opinion is very subjective to, it's your opinion. If I'm going to guess, okay, this guy who brews this, I guess he doesn't brew it, but he is the brew master. Apparently, I believe his name's Billy. He makes 3 other of these beers. I think I reviewed one. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to research into that. Forgive me for not being more prepared, but I am prepared to tell you a story, because this is what sets me apart from other beer reviews. Okay, Nightmare. I love all this dark stuff. Okay, we got Winclass of Earmous. There is a Saint Earmous. Okay, he was a priest back in the day, and he suffered from he sought refuge in the Himalayan mountains. He had refuge there for several years until some guy, I forget his name, this guy found him, and Saint Earmous suffered martyrism, which made him a saint. Now, Earmous also called Elmo. So when they say Saint Elmo or Elmo's Fire, he is a patron saint of sailors, which is fitting because Marines always take a ride from the sailors. So it's good that we have a saint looking out for our Marine brother, or our Navy brothers, and us Marines out at sea. And so to said, there is a blue light that you can catch at certain various times, and they believe that is they call it, believe it or not, St. Elmo's Fire. That's where that comes from, or at least what I read, and that helps helps guide the ships in, and sailors believe that that's Saint Eremus saving him. So that's just a nice little thing. And Winclass is a type of winch used in sailing and stuff. And guess what you have here? That is a winch type thing. And I believe how he was executed was he did have his insides ripped out, burnt, something like that. They say that he healed the first time or something like that, and so with the brewer, and I'm not for sure. I'm going to take a wild guess, but you got Winclass of Earmous, which okay, you have the like the pulley system, the Winclass, and then you have Earmous. Okay, the guy died that way, so maybe he's putting the two together. I don't know, but this can is very wicked, dark looking. If you ask me, very creative. There's a lot of sick artwork in there. That's my little history lesson from that. And it is a Gose beer. Okay, now Gose is a old style of brewing, and 1800s. It started in Goslar, Germany, by the sea, where they get sea salt from, and that's seawater, salt. Those are the characteristics in a Gose, along with the normally some people apparently do not use the black currant, but most generally they do use salts. So those are the classifications for making a Gose, and different depending on which language you speak. Like the French like to say "gose." So if you say Gose, it's all the same as the style of brewing. It's mainly a wheat beer. It consists of 50% wheat to the malt and barley, 60% mix there. And I did not know anything about Gose, and they're normally sour. So the scientific part of it is that you have the acids, from blackberries, or whatever else you want to use, I guess, in there to make that classification with that. And I am sorry I'm rambling on, but I do love a story, and everything I put together, I just looked it up. I mean, that's my interpretation of this can. And the brewer, maybe he was trying to get this message out. I don't know if there's any correlation. Only this guy could. I believe this guy is a brewmaster up in. This is from canned by Nightmare Brewing Company by Great South Bay Brewery, Bay Shore, New York. Okay, so I believe this guy works for another brewery. This is his side project, and he has two other cans. I'm not really one for a sour beer, we all know, but I do like to try some. There's some I've come across that are really delicious, really tasty, and I love telling stories. I guess that's why I looked all this stuff up with Saint Eremus and the persecution, and that being a Winclass right there, pulling his intestines out. And, this beer coming around the 1800s, I guess apparently the story has it is the Gose brewing style was almost just forgotten, and then someone brought it back, probably recently with the craft beers. And I guess IPAs were pretty much the same way until they started getting so popular and everything. But that's what's great about these craft beers. You have these guys out there with very creative minds putting these beers together in the different brewing styles, different ingredients, different stuff. It's I believe it's endless possibilities and recipes with putting different beer styles together and putting all kinds of different ingredients, as long as you're sticking with the style that makes it like a Gosa. The salt, the black currants. Sorry, I keep on mispronouncing that, but that's okay. Let's get on with drinking this. I'll get my favorite glass out here. American flag, hoorah! And let's see how she pours. Now that I'm done with story time. And honestly, I'm just sharing you with the knowledge that I got. I didn't know what a Gosa was. I didn't really know what made a Gosa. So, oh my, she pours quite nicely. She is, okay, since Erasmus was, he was, it's got a great head on it. It's diminishing a little fast, not too fast, but as according, we're gonna rate the head. I'm gonna give the head a 2.8 because it did diminish pretty fast. Give the color. This color is nice, blood red, kind of. Maybe then like pulling the intestines out of this, St. Eremus here. Maybe that's what it was representing and stuff. Blackberries, I don't know if you get that red color from the blackberries or the black currants. I don't know. I do smell the blackberries. The salt is coming through. The black currants is coming through there. It smells delicious. Okay, on the smell, I've been trying to rate these according to, Beer Advocate, Untapped, and stuff. The head, the smell, the taste, and the look. So the head didn't get nothing. I'm even gonna go lower. I'm gonna go 2.2 on the head. The color, I'm gonna go with 3.8. And it smells delicious. I'm gonna go with a 4.0 on the smell because it's got a nice kind of. It's got the sour, fruity blackberry, and you do smell some hints of salt in there, which a lot of people add salt to beers nowadays. So I've done that myself. So let's take a sip. Definitely sour. You got a nice, smooth. You can taste the black currants, I think, and the blackberries. I think everything comes through with just a little hint of salt, kind of towards the end. This beer, it's got a great taste. I'll give it a 4.0. I give it a 4.2. 4.2 on the taste. Great taste. It's refreshing. It's probably something you could drink on a hot day. You go mow the yard, you come back, have this beer, And just remember, the best beer is free beer, and your beer and the beer that you like to enjoy at the end of the day. And driving that truck down the road, hopefully I'm getting you to a destination of your choosing with maybe this Gosa style beer, an IPA, a Pilsner, a double IPA, a sour, a stout, just wherever I can take you. I'm hoping I am leading you down the right pathway. And if I'm not leading you to the pathway, I am very sorry. But everyone has a different opinion. And if I can get you that much closer to something you are interested in drinking, hopefully it's a Gosa, because today's beer review is on Gosa. So, and I hope, and I don't know if this has any correlation, St. Erasmus and the Winclass, and that's why they put that Winclass of Earmous type deal, and being the patron saint of sailors. So, I don't know, you'd have to ask the brewer what his intentions were. I'm just guessing that. That's the stuff I'm putting together. That's the story I'm drawing in my head. You come to your own conclusion. Maybe you're in the New York area and you know this guy that makes this. You can say, hey, man, what was your intentions with this? It's kind of like, I mean, these guys are artists. They create things, kind of like a musician. A musician creates music. They create, when they create these beers, I feel that they create stories behind them. And I think he put the story right here on his can. Some don't, some do, some don't. Some just have great stories of how everything came about. And that's what I like to share with you, along with freaking everything else. And that's what separates me from everyone else. I feel there's a lot of good beer reviews out there. I don't deny that. I watch a lot of them. I mean, everyone has a different opinion, and that's what's the great thing about this. Just have fun, drink beer, and we all get along, tell some tall stories about who caught a bigger fish. But here's something that no other beer, I've made this up myself. Along with taste, we have what's called chuggability. Okay, that's you find yourself at a bar, maybe you're in New York, you're having some whatever New York style pizza at the bar, and you get Gary Beckman. Okay, this is all right. I am back. I had some crap, man. For some reason, my phone freaking gets commercials on it and shit. Then it cuts me out, but I picked it back up. I'll just have to split it in two different parts. But my friend Gary Beckner, nice, great guy, and that's why I kind of give him credit for this. What I call the Gary Beckner. You're sitting, minding your own business, and a guy comes up to you and says, hey, I bet I can outdrink you and stuff. And that's just kind of something, or maybe I should nickname it the KC Patch. A Marine Corps brother of mine, he's got a patch over his eye. Sometimes he plays a pirate on Halloween. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be Halloween. He just loves being a pirate. Maybe you get Casey Patch at the bar. So you're sitting at the bar freaking, oh, I can outdrink him, you scallywag. And, okay, I'm doing the work for you. You're drinking your Winclass of Earmous, Ghost style ale. And you need to know if you can chug this and win your bet. The winner buys the other one beer. So I'm doing the work for you. Let's see how she goes down. Cheers. Woo! Goes down nice and smooth. This is actually like, you can put this in a little juice box for kids. They wouldn't know any different. This is, holy cow, this is 6.5% alcohol by volume. And along with these beers are not cheap. These beers, if you buy them in single packages, if you're lucky enough to be in a liquor store that sells them singly, you can build a 6-pack, 12-pack, whatever. They're generally a little bit more expensive. Like this one, I believe, was $5-6. But very well worth the taste. Great beer. I mean, the guy he's an artist. He's just not a brewmaster. He's an artist, to me. So, we are at that time where, hey, I like to pay tribute to the men and women that served our country, that sacrificed it all, excuse me. Goddamn dog, I think it was. And it is my sister's birthday, so I wish my sister Angie a very happy birthday. And so this is for her birthday, as well as the men and women who served our country and sacrificed it all. I love America, and I hope you fucking love America too. All right. We've got one of my new favorite whiskeys. I believe this is American Bourbon. America. You can't go wrong with bourbon like that. I believe this is Grunt Style. First Sergeant, hit me up. Let's do a beer review together. Do a shot of American Bourbon. I challenge you, First Sergeant, at Grunt Style. And of course, Chesty Pull, wherever you are. Hoorah. Sadly enough, I'm about out of this. And I had to order this off the internet. And let me tell you, you can find liquor on the internet, beers, whiskeys. They're not so cheap. I mean, normally they have a $35 minimum, and then shipping's like $25, $35. So, you know, that kind of sucks. I want to thank each and every one of you. JJ Peachel, my new subscriber, Mark Jackson, another new subscriber. Thank you guys very much for subscribing. JJ is my brother-in-law. He suggested a beer, the Boulevard Tech 9 collaboration, the Boulou. Very good beer. I really enjoyed it, and that was another one with story. And I love to review these beers with stories with them. I like to share those stories and little things like I found out about the Nightmare Winclass of Earmous. You know, like I said, I don't know if that's true. And then we found a little history behind the Gosa style ale and where it came from and why, you know, what makes it a Gosa. So I'm hoping I drove that truck down the road and got you to that destination. Now, of course, I want to thank Brad Lance, brother. Thank you very much for being such a supporter and a contributor to this YouTube channel. And then some of my Marine Corps brothers, Casey Patch, Chris Nicholson, Chris Schmidt, Corey Locke, Maynard, Diaz, Ruiz, Reyes, Mark Jackson's not a Marine, but a friend of mine. Nevertheless, Mark Williams, another friend of mine. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys for, hey, whoa, I can't forget about this. The first out of the United States, someone from Canada hit me up. Thank you. I forgot your name, but the Canadian resident. If you're from another country, hit me up, especially if you're from Ireland. I am 19% Irish, believe it or not. So hit me up. I would love to hear from someone from, you know, my ethnic background homeland, you know, along with Hispanic and Native American and a few other ones. So thank you guys very much. Please subscribe. That's what grows this channel. I know I've been watching some, like I said, I've been watching some beer channels, and they are good channels, but they don't have nothing on this channel. Let's grow this channel. Let's make it great. Oh, gosh. I'm using Donald Trump saying, let's make this channel great again. Hoorah. Doesn't matter. Thank you guys very much. Hoorah.